Hello everyone, it's me, Clayton, and I just got out of seeing Blade Runner 2049. And some critics have been calling this movie one of the best sequels of all time, and I have to say, I can't disagree with them. With excellent writing, great acting from everyone involved, amazing visuals, and a story that deepens the lore of the original Blade Runner, I have to say, as far as sequels go, this one was definitely one of the best I've seen all year. But let's get to the story, shall we? The story is about Ryan Gosling as Officer K, a replicant who is now working as a Blade Runner, and who actually finds a secret that could change the entire world he lives in as he knows it. He's sent on a mission to find Deckard from the first movie, played once again by Harrison Ford, and what follows is a personal adventure for him as he discovers more about someone's past as a replicant and more about Deckard that could shape the entire world and him before he even realizes it. But that's all I'll have to say about the story because it's best experienced on your own. But the way the movie tells its story is very well done, considering throughout the trailers of the movie never revealed that much about the story, which is very rare, honestly, nowadays. But that's actually a good thing, considering one of the best parts of the story is discovering what it's about on your own and solving the puzzle as you go along, putting together the pieces as you go through every single minute of the film. But even if the story wasn't amazing, the cinematography and the visuals really do live up to the original Blade Runner while also just looking very visually interesting in their own ways. Every location that Officer K goes to feels distinct and lived in. From the radioactive cities to the metropolis full of Japanese iconography and the bright flashing lights. Everything is done not only to remind you of the original Blade Runner, but also to create the sense that this is in fact a sequel that takes place 30 years after the original. It feels very authentic that way. The acting is excellent across the board. Ryan Gosling's very good as Officer K, having that much emotion from the start, but since he's a replicant and since he's, supposed to be a hardened officer, it makes sense, and he is a lot more varied than you'd think based on the trailers. Harrison Ford's Deckard doesn't come in until a little around 2 hours into the movie, but when he finally appears, he does a very good job, and he really sells the whole thing as an older and more paranoid Deckard. Especially since he wasn't exactly the easiest guy to like in the first movie, but that's not really the point. Also, other cast members like Dave Bautista, Robin Wright, and Jared Leto all deliver excellent performances, as does Mackenzie Davis. In fact, whether the roles are big or small, every single character feels like they add something to the movie. Another thing to point out about this film are the effects. The effects are very well handled throughout. Even the CGI that's used is not distracting. Everything looks bright and interesting. Every location feels like it's been well thought out from the start. Every single bit of CGI used is only used when it absolutely needs to be. And there aren't that many CGI explosions or aliens to fight. It's very slow-paced and very, deliberate, just like the original Blade Runner, to the point where it feels, like a sci-fi noir, just like that one. So it captures the style, and it captures the thought-provoking themes of the original. Speaking of its slow pace, it's more of a thinking man's sci-fi movie rather than an action-heavy one. As it asks a lot of questions about humanity, it asks a lot of questions about these characters that you follow, both old and new, and it really deepens the story if you've seen the original Blade Runner. Now, there is an occasional action scene, about 3 or 4 short ones throughout the film, but they don't last very long. They're only there when they're necessary, and they're well choreographed and well handled to the point where there's, tiny little bursts of action mixed in with the drama and the mystery. So in short, Blade Runner 2049 is an excellent movie. It definitely deserves all the praise it's gotten, and both Gosling and Harrison Ford, as well as the entire cast, deserve a major thumbs up for all they've done. I give the movie a 9 out of 10. See you next time.